revolution for the hell of it.
Now, we think if you ask us how the government is going to be brought down, or lost in the shuffle, as we tend to put it, our motto is, ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you.
The man that I liked. I liked him. He had a sense of humor. He taught people what they could do and gave them a sense of who they could be, and said that I could help do that I could be part of the revolution without having to hate or hurt people or maim them. He said it was okay to walk that edge. So I did. I decided that the edge was where I wanted to be because there were lots of people like Abbie Hoffman there to help me not fall. And so in his honor and in honor of all of the people that he gave the evolutionary revolution to, God bless him wherever he is, and I'm going to keep him alive in my heart because fuck them if they can't take a joke.
I mean, that's why I'm famous. Because I'm cute. What can I say? That's where it's at, goddammit. It's a goddamn sideshow act.
10,000 mounted Yamas ready to attack the puppet on. Let them deal with that. Go, Yama, no, You're all right. You say I wouldn't try everything, I will. We were young, we were reckless, we were headstrong, we were impatient, we were excessive, but God damn it, we were right.
Dear Abbie, thanks for teaching us we love you.
The real politics of Abbie began on the steps of Berkeley in 1959 when he got whacked, not in Berkeley, but on the steps of the City Hall at a UAC meeting, and he got whacked on the head. And I tell you, that was a whack heard round the world.
Among those arrested in the City Hall at San Francisco were a few trained communist agents. The others were the unwitting dupes of the party who had, in the heat of chanting and singing, performed like puppets, with the communists in control of the strings, even to the point of willfully and deliberately defying law and order.
The film, Operation Abolition, Abbie's in it. You can find little pieces of him being hit by the cops and dragged away. And so Abbie was asked by the ACLU to take this film around, showed the film to interested citizens in town hall meetings, and then he would point out the inconsistencies and what was wrong and where the lies were. I'll read from this book. On this particular night when Abbie faced a house packed with legionnaires, there was a short silence, and the legionnaires began. By the way, sir, do you believe in God? For half an hour they continued. Abbie says, I was asked if I'd let my daughter marry a Negro, if the ACLU was a communist front, and other sticklers. Finally, one of the farmers in the back spoke up. So I don't know, I think this here fella's got a good point. And he begins to list some of the mistakes he spotted in the film. And he's not the only one speaking of Jesus. The Farm Labor Party rises from the dust. I got tingly inside, and I fell in love with America that night. Cornfields, town meetings, Niagara Falls, hot dogs, parades, Red Sox doubleheaders. America was built by people who wanted to change things. It was founded on strong principles. And I saw myself as a son of liberty riding through the night, sounding the alarm.
There is nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to turn me around.
But when we went south, and by the end of 1965, because a lot of people, a lot of young people in particular, and I'm not talking about the Peloponnesian Wars now, this ain't ancient history. All of you was walking and breathing on the planet. This was 1965 I'm talking about. And we went down there, and a lot of people like us went, and a change was made, and legal segregation, apartheid, that had stood in the South for 200 years, was brought to its knees, and the South, in spite of all the problems that it still has changed, and a change was made because people gave a damn.
And there's a new nation, right here, we are, a new nation. Love it or leave it, we have left.
In October of '68, a half a dozen or so people who had participated in the streets of Chicago were subpoenaed to the House Un-American Activities Committee. This was the committee that had terrorized movements for change in this country for many years. Abbie was convinced that this had to stop and that committee must be destroyed. The only way he figured it could be done is the way he did everything else, with imagery and pictures. He knew that they wanted to subpoena those who were subpoenaed, to have them sitting in an audience while the committee harangued them with accusations of being fronts for communist governments, even though they were the peace movement of the United States and represented more of the popular opinion than the committee did. So instead, he planned his attack. He said he was going to wear an American flag shirt because he felt more in the tradition of America than that committee. And I said, Abbie, they've just passed a new federal flag desecration statute. You will be arrested. He said, all the better. And that day, while playing a yo-yo, he marched into the House Un-American Activities Committee with that beautiful American flag shirt. And as soon as he walked on the Capitol steps, the police stormed him, ripping the shirt from his back. Knowing that they would do this, he had the flag of the Viet Cong painted on his back. The trial of the American flag shirt became a national issue. It rose to the front page of Time magazine. And Abbie was invited on a late-night talk show, and they blued out his shirt. They only showed his head, while they had commercials of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans wearing American flag shirts, selling dog food. He was blacked out. At the trial, of course he was wearing the American flag, and our attack was simply constitutional. And I remember when he stood for his sentencing, because the judge had to convict him, the statute was clear. It was a use of the American flag that wasn't authorized. Abbie stood before the court, and when asked whether he had anything to say before the court-imposed sentence, he said, yes, I regret that I have but one shirt to give to my country.
Hoffman's Yippies went to the